Trevor, Dr. Lisa. Week 2 of shoulder rehab. Let's see what you've done so far and let's put the pieces together to strengthen up your shoulder and start adding in balance and control and stability of your foot and ankle. So let's go ahead and go into your shoulder and add a little extras onto what you're already doing. So we already have you doing shoulder TheraBand. We have you going for general endurance of the shoulder. I believe I have you doing this for 1.5 minutes each one of these. We're going to now start doing a warm-up, so I want you to do 20 of these as you were doing, and then now that you have the stability there, I want you to now change, get the elbow up to her side, and we're now doing them this direction. So that is keeping in mind that the shoulder should be backing down as you're doing that motion. So elbows by the side, wrist stays straight, and that's all the motion coming from the shoulder. So just to go over that again, we're warming up with 20 of these, and then once we have those done, we're going to get the elbow up by the side, and we're going to do 1.5 minutes of these. Okay? Our goal is by the end of 1.5 minutes that it is exhausted, and as we're doing the motion, I really want you to focus on keeping that shoulder up and stable and the elbow up, and as you pull, make sure the elbow doesn't drop or wiggle, just keep it nice and smooth. And then we're going to do the exact other direction. So we're going to warm up the other way, 1.5 minutes, pulling out. And then once you have that, this one's kind of tricky, but we're just going to start neutral and pulling back. So elbow by the side, the exact same motion as you're doing. So I'm going to have you warming up with 20, just like we did the other exercise, and then we're going to go for 1.5 minutes of pulling back. Now all these, keep in mind, shoulder back and down. If you're having trouble keeping it back and down, I want you to guard with this hand while you do the exercise and make sure that it is back and down, and also feel for any clicking or snapping in the shoulder while you do those exercises. The next modification on the TheraBand exercise, pulling straight forward, is now we're going to tie it low and we're going to pull up. So we're going to tie it low, and just as if we are taking our seatbelt off or putting our seatbelt on, I want to do these different directions. So cross body, straight forward, and then out to the side, and then from this hip up and out. So we're picking all different directions. We're going to the opposite shoulder, to the same hip, and then from the hip up towards the normal way we've been doing, and then 45 degrees out to the side, just to prep you a little more for climbing. So what that would look like is facing it, pulling up, pulling out to the side, pulling across the center, and letting pain be your guide on that, and also only go as far as your shoulder is willing to go. So I don't want you really trying to force the end range of motion. Just come as close as you can, but the goal is really firing shoulder in a safe position, elbow straight, and all that motion coming from the shoulder, okay? Then we have you doing that facing towards and facing away. So we had you warming up with just a straight warm up, and now we're going to change it, and we're going to have you pulling out to the side, pulling up and across, pulling straight. So those 4 quadrants again, out, straight, and 45 degrees out to the side. So those are all your new modifications for that. And then this week we're really going to start adding in more stuff on the ankle. And so let's kind of delve into what we're looking for the ankle. So to begin with ankle rehab, what we need to understand is how the ankle is sitting and retrain the position of it. So I want you to stick your fingers under the arch and make sure that we're positioning in a way that that arch is not collapsed. So if you were to drop a finger on both bones, so the outer edges of your ankle, just find kind of the center in there. We want that to be a straight line. We don't want you to be dropping your arch and having one be higher than the other, or the other direction and having the inside be higher than the outside. We want it very straight. So if I was dropping a line here, I want you to have those bones in alignment and holding this arch up. So, and having your foot pointing straight ahead and not having an angle out. That is a correct loading pattern. So arch up. We want the center of your kneecap over the center of your second toe. And then with that, then I want you to start trying to balance on it. So holding the arch up, knee over the center of the second toe, making sure your toes point straight ahead, and then standing on it. And see how my knees are up to the side, That's not over the second toe, that's over the fifth toe. So you want to pull it in. And then while you're doing this, I want you to practice that positioning of keeping knee over the second toe. And then if you're able to control this, then you can do your shoulder rehab exercises from this position. So that is the basic alignments, and I want you to start practicing standing on it. So standing on one foot, and then make sure that you don't let your hips twist or rotate. We want them facing straight forward, knee over the center of the second toe. And if that is easy, then we'll make it more difficult by adding a wobble board in. So wobble board is kind of a little bit more difficult. So get right in the center of it, knee over the center of the second toe. So what this looks like from the side is we have a nice little knee bend. We don't have that knee all the way locked out. See how much I can lock out my knee? If I'm always keeping it locked out, that is not doing me any justice. So we want to keep that nice and a nice basic athletic stance. And then facing forward, we want our hips level, knee over the second toe, that big toe pressed down. So while we're doing this exercise, we want weight on the toe, the ball of the foot, the outside of the foot, and the base of the heel. So you want all of these pressing evenly into the ground. I don't want all your weight on the toe, then I don't want all your weight on the heel. So that's one, is just the basic standing balance exercise. The second one is I want you to practice on the wobble board with 2 feet. First, we're going to go forward and backwards, strengthening up those arches, strengthening up those feet, and then side to side. With side to side, I don't want you to roll around the front to get where you're going. I want it very controlled. One side, then the other side. So that's your homework, side to side. And then, facing the other direction, keeping the knees bent, forward and back. That's going to help you control that. Once you can do it with 2 feet, then I want you to swap and do it with 1 foot, which is quite challenging. But I believe in you. And then, side to side this direction. Try as best as you can, but you may not be perfect at it. Okay? And I want you to do that for both feet. And then, while we're at it, arch raises. So standing, I want you to take those arches and raise them up, and then drop them back down again. This is working the posterior tibial tendon, which is the muscle that actually holds the arches up. And we are starting to strengthen that up. Once I get strong, you can start walking around the house on the edges of your feet, which will be next week. However, if you feel strong enough to start doing that this week, go ahead and do it. Now with all these exercises, you can blend them while you're doing your shoulder rehab. So if you're bored and you're doing your shoulder rehab, you can always do your shoulder exercises while you are practicing standing on 1 foot. That is perfect for you, okay? So give these a try, and then lastly, ball rollout for you, for your ball rollout exercise. I want you to start with your belly on the ball, and then I want you to roll all the way out till it's just your feet on the ball, all the way out, and then do a push-up, and then roll all the way back straight, back onto the belly. So what that's going to look like is that is going to be a position to where as you roll out, you get into the push-up position, and then there goes the ball, and then go ahead and do your push-up, keeping your shoulders back and down, and then roll back until the ball is again underneath your waist. So for this week, we're modifying our exercises. We're adding in a change of angle of your shoulder. So instead of it being in a closed pack position, now it is in a more extended position. So really watch your positioning on that. And if the ball rollout push-up is painful on the shoulder, go ahead and discontinue that. I want you doing all of these exercises 4 to 5 days a week until I hear from you within 1 week's time, and then we're going to modify these and make them more difficult. So today is Tuesday. I'm sending these to you tonight, and I want to see how they're going. And next Tuesday is going to be the last set of videos I send you for Thanksgiving. I'll be gone all week, and then we'll give you new ones the Tuesday thereafter when I'm back in town. All right, good luck with week 2. Bye, Trevor.